All right, so for this portion of the class, the first two videos explained how numbers are classified, talked about terminated and repeating decimals, but for now, we're gonna look at this third learning intention, which is we'll be successful when we're able to estimate non-perfect squares between two integers, basically just estimating numbers, but estimating correctly and trying to navigate at what part on the number line would this fit. So I'm gonna pull up my whiteboard. Oh, we're gonna talk about estimating numbers. Okay, so the first one we're gonna look at is, what if I give an example saying that without using your calculator, that the square root of 2, what would the square root of 2 be? As in, where on the number line would it fit? Okay, that's what I'm asking. And again, we're just estimating. I'm not asking you to pull out the calculator. And we're going to estimate by what we know. For example, we know what the square root of 4 is, right? That is 2. So if the square root of 4 is 2, this is where the square root of 4 is, right? And then we know that the square root of 1 is 1. So we'd want to estimate and say that square root 2 is somewhere between 1 and 2. That's basically us estimating where that square root would be. So we do it based on what we know. For example, if I say, what is square root 30? We know what square root 25 is, and we know what square root 36 is. So then we want to estimate in between what square root 30 would be. Again, it's just using what we know to estimate what numbers would be. Another example would be pi. We know the value for pi is 22 over 7, or 3.14. So if I say, what is pi over 2? Again, would go through and estimate, again, not using the calculator, just estimating. All right, a lot of times we'll get some questions where we're just going to estimate our answers to put it in, and that would help us to get through questions faster instead of relying on the calculator all the time. Say, for instance, we had 3 pi. Again, we know that's 3 times whatever pi is, and pi is 3.14. So if we did 3 times that, that's 9. And there's a decimal part where it's going to roughly be 10. I say roughly because we're estimating, all right? Another quick thing we want to look at is squares. This is simple because this is stuff we know. So we know 2 squared is 4, right? And we know 3 squared is what? 9. So what if I said, what is 2.5 squared? If we use our calculator, it would tell us, but if we're estimating, we can say it is between 4 and 9, right? Because we know 2 squared is 4 and 3 squared is 9. So this has to be between 4 and 9. So that's kind of how we use our estimating skills to determine where the values are, and we could locate them on the number line.